Please be seated. Welcome to the 2023 Winter Athletic Assembly. Tonight is a night to celebrate all of you in this room and your teammates. Shortly, you will hear season summaries from your coaches. As well, some of you in the room will receive individual awards. Regardless, all of you should be proud of the seasons you had and the memories you created this winter. It's been a long winter, and I know many of you are tired. Hopefully, in your assessment of your season, you will feel some gratitude that you went to practice every day without a mask, played games in the US without a COVID test, and didn't have random cancellations due to new COVID regulations. We're all learning to be more resilient after a few tough years, but hopefully we can all be grateful for the true return to normal this winter sports season gave us. On behalf of all... On behalf of all of us in this room, I would like to give a big thank you to several special people. This long list of dedicated people is the reason sports at Stanstead are so great. First, I'll thank all of you in advance, and as I know, you will give your full focus to the assembly. Thank you for looking sharp in your school uniforms and your Major S sweaters, and thank you in advance for the respect that you will show every single speaker and every single team. Finally, thank you for switching off your phones and your earbuds. Please do that now. Thank you to Ms. Sonia Perron, Mr. Maxime Boulet, Mrs. Holly Moore in the Health Center, and to our athletic therapist, Mr. Christophe Rob-Lavoie, for being the dedicated medical professionals that they are. Thank you to Mrs. Schaefer for her amazingly well-run wellness program. Thank you to Mr. Blair and Mrs. Wilkinson for running an excellent cross-country skiing program. Thank you to the core group of Skittles people, Terry Calva, Lisa Cabarigi, Haley and Mrs. Wolf, Mr. Blair, and I'm forgetting some, oh yeah, and Kate Ems. Thank you to the maintenance department, the ladies in the laundry, the team at the arena, and our drivers, and our kitchen staff who work with us to make sure that all of our programs' needs are provided for. Every person mentioned are truly the backbone of the sports program here at Stanstead College. This dedicated group go the extra mile every time for you because they care about you. Thank you to Mrs. Wolf for all her help preparing these events and for doing such a great job with running the RSEQ component of the athletics program. Thank you to Michael Lapierre. Although he only has a few weeks under his belt, I'm very grateful for his attention to detail and his positive presence. Finally, a huge thank you to your coaches. They work tirelessly to ensure your athletic experience is as memorable as possible. I've spent a lot of time over the last few weeks talking to your coaches about your seasons. They light up when they talk about you, and you're very lucky to have such caring and kind educators. Your coaches will say nice things about you tonight, but I hope you take the time to pull them aside and let them know how much they mean to you. So a big round of applause to all those people I mentioned, the people who made the winter term so successful. So without further ado, let's kick things off with Bantam Junior Girls Basketball Team, and that is Miss Mag.
Hello. Just before I start, this is a serious but not serious text. Okay. Dear Bantam Junior Girl Basketball Team, it starts well, okay. Hasn't been long since I last saw you, but I wanted to write you a letter to check on you and to thank you for this year. How you been? What's new since the season ended? On my side, it's been pretty chill. I have 1 extra hour a day to do whatever I want to do. But I do miss you and your crazy energy. I was thinking about how it all started back in November. Do you remember? Okay. At first, we all thought you'd be a senior basketball team, but deep down, turned out you were a Bantam junior team. Everything was already planned for the season, and you came in like a wrecking ball and destroyed Mr. Spirk's plans. You came in and you changed everything, and remember how Mr. Spirk had to rearrange the whole season schedule because of that? Sorry. Okay. Also, do you remember the first game of our season? No? Well, I do. I do. We went up to Gold, and you guys were pumped. You played some Miley Cyrus on our way there, you braided your hair in the fancy way, and you put on your brand new basketball sneakers, all white. You were ready, and then it was time to warm up. But before the it was time to warm up, excuse me. And at this moment, Miss Session and I realized that we haven't prepared you or practiced a warm-up with you guys. So since a lot of you never played ball, you looked lost at the beginning of the game. Well, for the first half, you looked lost. But it got better and better, and you got more comfortable. And as much as you might have learned this season, you taught me a great deal. With this letter, I wanted to make sure you know how big of an impact you had on me, on yourselves, and on the bus drivers who had to listen to your amazing vocals during our trips. And when I used to play basketball back in the day, one of my coaches wrote 10 things he liked about the team, and I thought of doing the same with you guys. So here it is, 10 things I like about you. First, your goodwill. Win as a team, lose as a team. Your respect. Treat each other like family, well, the members you like. Your devotion, especially to Miss Hessian's burpees. Your support, you are the loudest cheerleader in the room. Your trust, be a trustworthy teammate. Your communication during games, not when we tell you what to do in practice. Your positivity, keep your positive attitude. Sometimes you can drop the attitude. No, okay. Your leadership, always lead by example. Your strength, each and every one of you is the team's greatest strength. And last but not least, yourselves. There is nothing I like more about this team than you guys. Anna, Vivian, Gawan, Julia, Jeanne, Chichi, Zoe, Clara, Sarah, Miranda, Sophia, Naya, Sarah, and Romina, thank you for the incredible season, and I hope this letter put a smile on your face. See you next year. I will now announce the Good Sport Awards, and please hold your applause until the winners are announced. The Bantam Good Sport Award goes to a player who improved drastically and who also never stopped cheering for her teammates. Even during games where it was hard to keep a smile on her face, this player gave it all to keep the spirits up. The Bantam Good Sport Award goes to Cecilia Riddle. Okay. And you did not listen. The Junior Good Sport Award goes to a player who didn't get to play as much this season, but never complained about it. This player is the loudest on the court, on the bench, everywhere. She would encourage everybody, even during warm-ups. So the Junior Good Sport Award goes to Naya Capierre. You don't have to give everything and then we come. Okay. And now for a Bantam S. Again, hold the applause. Merci. This player is the first one to step on the court and the last one to leave it. She has amazing basketball skills. Her court vision is insane, and she always gives her 110% every time she steps on the court. And not only she's a great player, but she also has a golden heart. Our first Bantam S is awarded to Sarah Leisure. Our final Bantam S goes to a quiet player who learned to take her place on the court. She takes all criticism and applies the corrections as soon as she steps back on the court. She was the backbone of our team, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for this player. And our last and final Bantam S is awarded to Clara Buck Thompson. Now you can come. Now you can come. Yay. Okay.
Our next program to be recognized, U15 Hockey, Mr. Chandler.
Thank you. Good evening, Spartans. Okay, thanks. Congratulations to all the athletes, teams, and coaches for an outstanding winter sports season. A few thank yous to Director of Hockey Operations, Mr. Ruwe, for everything he does for the running of our program, which is everything. All we need to do is coach the team. Where is he? Oh, there you are. To coaches Connor and Olivier and Mr. Ruwe, for their avid interest and dedication to our team. They're fantastic guys, so knowledgeable, and we've learned so much from you. So, Ollie, Ruwe, yeah, there you are. It's a little dark in here, right? Here's the line on our season. We played 19 league games. We won 5, lost 9, and tied 5. We scored 45 goals. We allowed 62. And we finished in 5th place out of 9 teams. We lost in the first round of the playoffs. However, as for the players, I will remember our goalie, Gabriel Poitras, the Gabenator, making timely saves that always gave our team the chance to win or tie games or keep the score from becoming lopsided. He was a rock in the nets. Teams at the junior level do not normally rely so heavily on grade 7 players. However, we did. Jacob Leduc was relied upon to make plays in the offensive zone, score points, and go hard to the net. Jacob did this, and he did it well, as he did in one game by going hard to the net, only to take a Chaz Faucher wrist shot from the point in the ribs. I think he still has the bruise. True to form, he bounced back with great courage. Defenseman Ben Ryu, weighing in at a whopping, get this, 91 pounds. Ben can skate with the best of them. He makes wicked passes coming out of the defensive zone and can make slick plays as a forward. Watch out for this guy next year. God love Haley Gilbert for playing on our team. Haley was one of our most improved players. Her vision and awareness and stick handling skills improved immensely over the winter. In our playoffs, Haley played her best games of the season. Shot blocks, key defensive zone play, and good breakout passes were shining highlights. Jacob Bayas is a penalty-killing specialist and such a great teammate. In fact, he brought his own portable water cooler, hooked it up in our dressing room so his teammates could have drinking water. No lie. This season, Jacob scored 6 goals, and get this, Mr. Vanas, 5 of them were short-handed. Pretty good stat. Noah Roy is the gentle giant. He is calm and has a quiet manner. However, if you slash, hook, or cross-check one of his teammates, it's like poking the bear. He's coming after you to protect his buddies. I look forward to watching him develop in future years. Juan Patricio Oropeza worked hard and focused on improving his skating and puck handling skills. Improve he did, and he became a most reliable player whose energy helped to set the tone early in games. We look forward to Pato returning next year. Smooth skating defenseman Liam Summon very good at escaping pressure and rushing the puck. He is a wonderful skater and so skilled. His passing ability is deceptive. He's fun to watch, and I look forward to seeing his career blossom in red and white. Noah Grenier, another in the category of much improved players, was a key two-way forward who played well in all three forward positions. Noah's improvement in the face-off circle over the season was outstanding. Looking forward to seeing what next year brings for him. Chaz Faucher logged... Are you going to be okay?
Is there a cleanup?
Yes, I'm here. Chaz Faucher logged tons of minutes on the ice for us and was heavily relied upon in all situations. He has a cannon of a shot, as Leduc and many unfortunate opponents who got caught in the crossfire learned the hard way. Chaz is one to watch in future years as well. We didn't know much about Anthony Rombatis at the beginning of the year, but early in our early season Galt tournament, he quickly proved to be an excellent skater, reliable face-off guy, and a crafty playmaker. Rombo is our leading scorer this season with 16 goals, and his cellies are pretty good too. We look forward to next year with him. Henry Riddle kept things fun. He was a positive influence with a keen sense of humor throughout the season, all-around leadership and great personality. Henry's skating and shot were much improved by season's end. The U18s look forward to him joining them next year. Lastly, our captain, Safe Pardon. Safer carried the lunch cooler for road trips, relentlessly lugged the stick bag, stayed behind to clean up the dressing room after every game in practice, yet he also found time to play and anchor our defense. A player with solid potential, he just loves the game. Way to go, Safe. The 2022-23 edition of the 3rd U15 Spartans was a fun group of kids to coach. They were positive and funny. They were courageous, they loved their stops at McDonald's, and most importantly, they were humble in victory and gracious in defeat. They grew into a cohesive team that peaked by the end of the season and made a strong showing in our only playoff round. Well done, Spartans, on a solid season. Did I come up and get their pins? Oh, I gave them to them. Congratulations on a solid season. Good. Junior S awards go to 3 players, and I would like to ask them to come up together. These 3 players, who over the course of the season played at a consistently high level, made a tremendous impact with their leadership on and off the ice, and represented our team with class. They are excellent players and fantastic kids. So congratulations to Gabriel Poitras, Chaz Faucher, and Safe Pardon. Please come up. Okay. Also, the Sportsmanship Award goes to a player who exemplifies sportsmanship at its best. He practices and plays the same way, within the rules of the game and always giving his best effort. He is quiet by nature, plays any role without complaining, and he's going to be really fun to watch on the rugby field in the spring. Congratulations, Noah Grenier. Okay. Okay. So I can give it to you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Our next program to be recognized, Senior Boys Red Basketball, Mr. Liverpool.
Sure. What's that? That's sportsmanship? Good evening, Stanstead College student athletes, coaches, parents, faculty, and friends. And welcome to what I'm sure will be a wonderful night of celebrating individual, but to me more importantly, team accomplishments. I'd like to begin tonight, I think, with a quick personal anecdote. So as some of you may know or may not, my son attends Stanstead College, and thus was in attendance at our last fall athletic assembly, where I prefaced my junior boys soccer speech by saying that I would try to be as short and sweet as possible. I think I delivered on the sweet part. I think I might have struggled a little bit with the short part. According to Ethan, yeah, my dad, he said he was going to be short and sweet, but it was so long. Well, you'll be pleased to know that I will try and do my best, Ethan, to be as quick and succinct as possible and rectify that issue tonight. So, without further ado, our season. Our season consisted of a good number of practices and sadly not as many games. And as we all know, games are usually much more enjoyable, for they represent the reward for the effort and the perspiration that's put in during practice times. Games are an opportunity to challenge oneself and see how you match up against your opponent. That said, this team did what was asked of them, when it was asked of them, and without one complaint. A true team in all senses of the word, this group of young men came together, bonded early in the season, then worked diligently throughout the course of the season to improve in all facets of the game. Athletically, this is a talented group of young men, but more importantly to me, they're a talented group of young people. And I know I'm better for having crossed their paths. I'm extremely appreciative of the opportunity that I was afforded to coach and learn from Speedy G, Etcher Vergon, Jamal Ball, Mao Hoopez, Luki Pookie, Akiragi, Joe Swish, Chevalo del Ocho, Quiqueta, and Jay Crossover. Thank you, gentlemen, for a season that I will never forget. I have one sportsmanship award and 2 junior S's to give out. I would like all 3 of you gentlemen to come up at the end. If you would please hold your applause until the end, that would be great as well. This first award winner is a consummate learner. He has taken his work ethic and commitment to learning from the classroom, where he excels, to the basketball court. His attention to detail and desire for knowledge aided in the development of his skills and the major improvement in his gameplay. And it's with the utmost respect and pleasure that I award Luc Delabriere one of 2 junior S's being awarded this evening. Congratulations, Luc. Probably the most athletic young man on the team, this gentleman often led our team when on the court. After a somewhat challenging season for this young man last year, this year he was afforded the opportunity to play with, and even more significantly, play against athletes of his own age. It's with great pleasure that I reveal that this young man excelled in this new venue. I look forward to watching this young man continue to grow as an athlete. I can only imagine what he's capable of if he manages to make open layups just a little bit more consistently. For this reason, a junior S is proudly awarded to Josh Lippman. Congratulations, Josh. And the final award for this evening is the Sportsmanship Award. Having never really played any kind of organized basketball, really at any level, this young man was a work in progress from the start of the season. Now, having said this, he was dedicated to putting in the work. He listened, he attempted, he adjusted, and he improved immensely. What is special about this young man is that he participated in games and practices as hard as he could, often raising the level of his peers' efforts and contributions as a result. It pleases me very much to award the Junior Basketball Sportsmanship Award to Santiago Meja. Come on up, gentlemen, please. You can come up now. Santi?
Yeah, because then you can keep the trophy till the end.
Okay.
Luke and Josh.
Okay.
The way forward.
Perfect. Almost out of here. There we go.
Next to speak from U18 Hockey, Mr. Ruwe.
All right. First off, I'd like to say a few thank yous. James, Olivier, Connor, and Graham, you truly went above and beyond, not just donating your expertise to our program, but also your time. What an incredible opportunity it was to have you on the ice or behind the bench with us this season, lending your experience, expertise, and your time. I'd also like to say thank you to the entire student body. It was a privilege to be a part of a community that values hockey at all levels so sincerely. It was a pleasure seeing many of you at our games and also just hearing from you on campus, giving me feedback on how we can improve. That was really cool, so thank you for that. As a team, this year it took us a while to find our stride. Our team ranged in ability from talented players with aspirations to play at a higher level to players who were relatively new or brand new to the game and were just there to have fun. Add in a few poorly timed injuries and our season got off to a frustrating start, and it didn't get better from there. January was, I'm not done, it gets better. January was not a good month for us, I'll leave it at that. Still, the players worked hard, our GM made a mid-season trade, and slowly but surely we started to improve. It's not easy to be a losing team within a winning program, but the boys stayed the course, and by the end of the season, we finally started to see some results. We played the last quarter of the season to a 500 record and even managed to eliminate a talented Trio A team from the playoffs in our final game of the season, so that was a highlight. I won't lie, they were a frustrating team at times when they couldn't get out of their way, but I wouldn't trade them for anybody. When I look back at our season, preparing the speech, I'll remember how they threw on shoots and shades for home games even though I didn't ask them to. I'll remember watching 3 young men fall in love with hockey for the first time and improve tremendously throughout the season through grit and determination. I'll remember individual players overcoming personal hardships to come back on the ice and rediscover hockey as a game that's supposed to be fun. I'll remember the end of our season when we finally, at full strength, we started playing with a newfound intensity. I'll remember that Trio A1 still owes us a game and we are ready. And finally, I'll remember that even though it was a long season, I'm not ready for it to end, and I think most of the team feels the same. So thank you for a great season, everybody. I had a blast, and I hope you did too. On to the awards. We had 2 senior S's. The first one goes through a young man that would run through a wall for the team every single day. He's talented, he's a natural leader, and he just does his job and plays a hard, selfless game. Whether we needed a goal, we needed a stop, or we needed somebody to volunteer to unload the cooler from the bus, he was our guy. If I'm building a new team, Will Towner would be my first pick. Congratulations on a senior S for Will Towner. For our second Senior S, our team spent a lot of time in our own zone, but it did not often really seem to matter, and the reason's simple. We had the best goalie in the league, hands down. Riley Yip stood on his head for us more times than I can count, and I can't imagine what our season would have looked like without him. So congratulations to Riley S for Senior S. Finally, the Good Sport Award goes to a young man who did everything for us on the ice. I never saw him lose his temper. I don't think I ever saw him tired, which is pretty impressive because I think he played about 25 minutes a game. We only play like 35 minutes, so it's a lot. He played forward, he played defense. It really didn't matter, he just played hard. He made his teammates better, and he was always a good competitor that kept it between the whistles. So congratulations to Keita Sumisumi on the Good Sport Award. That's it, you guys can come up. Okay.
And he gets to keep that till after pictures or after.
Cool.
Adam.
Sleeping. He's napping over there. He's napping. When you fast for 6 weeks,
This is after like she gets up on her own.
yes, that's what to say. I'm trying to put it all together. All right, our next program to be recognized is the first program of the night that can give an MVP trophy. As in the fall assembly, we recognize trophy winners with a standing ovation. Next program to be recognized is Prep Girls Hockey, Ms. Tougas.
Good evening. Last year I came up here and talked about the first season of our Prep Girls hockey team and all the firsts that came along with it and how we had to earn our respect. When I started my coaching career, I had the opportunity to have my assistant coach be one of my mentors. He goes by the name of Blake Wesley. He spent the majority of his NHL career playing for the Quebec Nordiques, and one of the things that he taught me that I still use every game is one of the things he used to tell me. Every time you enter the room, either before the game, between periods, or after the game, only pick 3 things that you want to talk about. They will always remember 3 things, but anything more than that, they won't remember anything you just said. So tonight I want to talk about 3 things, 3 lessons that we learned this season. First, I want to talk about consistency and results. As all the coaches come up here tonight, you will hear about the ebbs, the flows, the ups, and the downs of their season. One thing that us as coaches try to teach you as athletes is that although there may be ebbs and flows in life, there is not an ebb and a flow in terms of your focus, your discipline, and your work ethic. Those things are solid daily. Too often, results change those things for us and make that an ebb and a flow. In these situations, we often say, oh, we lost, or oh, I'm not playing well right now, so I'm just going to say I'm having a bad day. Well, you just wasted a day. There are certain characteristics and things that should never have an ebb and a flow. You should never have an ebb and a flow. You are here, you're focused, you're disciplined, you're working hard, all of that is consistent. You have to understand that in the game of life, there is an ebb and a flow to results and production. That is natural. But production does not guarantee a result. It guarantees growth. So if you think because you prepared for something that entitles you to a result, then you're going to be disappointed in life. Studying for a test doesn't entitle you to get an A. Preparing for a game doesn't entitle you to win it. If that's the case and both teams prepare, then both teams should win. So consistency, preparation never entitles you to get a result, and that is a really important life concept to understand. Secondly, I want to talk about commitment to each other. Every coach in every season stands in front of their team and says, commit to each other. But how do we commit to each other? In order to commit to each other, you have to spend time with one another. It's really hard to commit to someone if you don't know them. The more you get to know someone, the more you want to commit to someone. But why do we do it? Why do we commit to somebody, and why do we commit to each other? The journey we go on is challenging. One of the biggest misconceptions about great teams, or about teams that have a lot of success, is people talk about family or culture. Everyone has their buzzwords, and these things are true. But the misconception about that is people think a culture that's family, a culture that's successful, a culture that's nice and fun, that they never have any problems. So people in life go and search for things where there's never going to be any problems. The thing is, though, conflict is a pivotal part of a successful team. There is no absence of conflict in a successful team. There is an absence of the conflict lingering. And that is the difference. There is going to be conflict, and we had some conflict this year. Those who say they never had conflict are either lying to you or it just hasn't happened yet. This season, I'm sure you're mad at me as your coach, and at times I was probably mad at you. And I know for sure there were times where you guys were mad at each other. But the teams that had success, they don't allow the pettiness to linger. If you have an argument with someone or you have a difference with somebody on the team, that is going to happen. But when we get out there, we're together because we are committed to one another. You commit to one another so that when there is conflict, you're able to move past it. That is why you commit to someone else, because you are going to have conflict. Lastly, I want to talk about 3 words that we use throughout the season. These words are pride, heart, and passion. These words are reminders to have pride in everything that you do, to always lead with your heart, and to constantly follow your passion. Thank you. I now have 3 Senior S awards to hand out, along with a Sportsmanship Award and an MVP trophy. I'll name the first 2 Senior S's and you guys can come up. Our first Senior S award is awarded to a player who has a definition of compete. Often people say you hate to play against them, but you love that they're on your team. The catch with that, though, is that you have to battle and compete against her every day in practice. She practices as you play, and that's exactly who she is, and everything that she does. If you don't bring it every day, she will tell you, and you may not notice it in the moment, but you will be a better person and player because of her. Our first Senior S is awarded to Penelope Lavoie. Our second Senior S will be also awarded the Sportsmanship Award. Very rarely do you come across someone that is able to brighten your day by just their presence. On the ice, she is selfless, would do anything for her teammates to succeed, and has a vision on the ice better than anyone I've ever seen at her age. She brings life not only to her team and to the school, but she also sets the vibe everywhere she goes. She is not one for the spotlight, and she probably would rather this award be awarded to somebody else, but this is very well deserved. Our second Senior S award and our Sportsmanship Award is awarded to Lori Aubin.
This is sportsmanship, and then these are the 2 S's because it's a real award.
Our last Senior S award will also be awarded our MVP trophy. This player brings intensity on and off the ice, and always is a put the team on the shoulders type of player. Her desire to win and aspiration to be one of the best hockey players in the world is one of the many reasons she was the leader of our team this season. The accomplishments and the awards that she has attained so far leave her proud but not satisfied in the journey of chasing her dreams. Our last Senior S award and MVP trophy is awarded to Rosalie Tremblay.
Next to speak from Prep Boys Hockey, Monsieur Magnan.
Good evening, everyone. The overall season was a success for us. Everyone bought in his role early on to help the team to win. The players played through a lot of adversity in many different times. We suffered many injuries. We missed a lot of players because of sickness. But every time the guys stepped on the ice, they gave their 100%, even at 6 a.m. I pushed them pretty hard at times. Many mountain tests, many laps around the rink, hard workouts, hard practices. But at the end, they soon realized that their limit was further away than they thought, giving them a better chance to achieve their goals. We like to say that's the real Spartan way. But our job is not quite finished yet. We still have to play our playoff and then have a chance to compete against the best 16 team in Quebec City at the end of April. I would like to thank every single player in the team for their commitment and effort through the year. It was a pleasure coaching you guys. I had a lot of fun. I would also like to thank 3 coaches that helped me when Coach Guy could not be around. Thanks to Connor Wilson, Coach Connor, Coach Matt Thompson, and then Coach James Ryu. Here are some highlights of our season. We finished first place in our division. We won the Northwood School Tournament in Lake Placid, beating South Kent in the final. That's a good one. We also had 4 players in the top 15 best player of the league. Now I'll be awarding 4 Senior S Award and 1 Sportsmanship Award. Sportsmanship Award. This award is going to a player that represents the team and school values, that treats everyone with respect, that doesn't take a day off. Everything he does is done with passion. He plays a very honest game. He doesn't visit the penalty box very often. He shows leadership not by talking, but by his action on and off the ice. He is respected by all of his teammates and coaching staff. Assistant Captain, Zach Maher. Now, our first Seniors Award. The first Senior Award is going to a player that progressed a lot this season. His daily objective was to get better whatever it takes. He has the ability to shoot the puck like nobody else in the team. He scored an impressive 35 goals in 39 games this season. He enjoys playing physical. He always competes hard and hates losing. He has broken as many sticks as the rest of the team altogether. Charles Belland. Our second Senior Award is given to a player that contributed offensively and defensively. He was one of the team leaders, committed to improve every small detail in his game. His intensity was always high and kept his teammate honest in that regard. He averaged 1.5 points per game all season long. Assistant Captain, Adam Larson. The third Seniors Award is going to the player that any coach would love to have in his team. There's only one speed he knows, and it's full speed. He never takes any shortcuts. He's a great leader by action. He has an unbelievable set of skills. Every time he's on the ice, I know exactly what I can expect out of him. He finished the season with 52 points in 35 games, and believe it or not, he could have twice as much if he would have played with contact lenses since day one. Captain Ian Olsen. The fourth Seniors Award is going to a very versatile player. He can do it all on the ice. He skates well, he scores goals, and he's a great playmaker. Despite many small injuries, almost one every day, he led the team in points with an impressive 57 points. The only skill he needs to improve are his DJing skill. Trofim Godochkin. Please come up and receive your awards.
This goes with the trophy.
Yeah.
For Zach. This one goes to Adam because it's a re-award, and the other 3 are for the other 3 boys. Just give this one to Adam. That one goes to trophy. And
Okay, now the last Senior S Award and the MVP trophy is going to a player that does everything by the book. He's a great teammate in the room. He gets along with everyone. He is very unselfish. He competes in every practice as if it was a game. Every time he plays, he makes the entire team look good. He is the most consistent player in the team. Through the year, he kept an impressive goal against average of 1.7. Goaltender Jacob Leblanc.
Our next program to be recognized is the first program of the night that can give out a Major S award. Just like MVP trophies, we recognize Major S winners with a standing ovation. Speaking next for squash, Mr. Marino.
I ad-lib, so listen to me for the next 5 minutes. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being the best fans at every sport arena, basketball court, even the squash courts. I try to teach you a lesson, and you were outstanding, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Great applause to you. Second of all, one of the things, I'll be philosophical for a bit. Mr. Faucher, philosophical. I want you to understand that everything that you do here, we notice. And one of the things that I really hope that you get from everything you do at Stanstead College is that it's about you first. Try and improve yourself first. The team comes after that. We as coaches will guide you along. Sometimes we don't do it as well as we should, but in general, it's our job to guide the team. As an individual, you have to do the best that you can be. So many of you put so much pressure on yourself, and that sometimes you don't enjoy the game. You have to enjoy the game. You have to have fun. If you see yourself saying, I'm not having fun, then let's talk. Because you're such great kids, you need to understand that you have to have fun. So try and improve yourself first. Try and be the best at everything you do. And you know what's going to happen sometimes? You're going to fail. Who cares? Get back up and you'll be fine. Then the team concept comes in. And that's where you support each other. Every sport, be it hockey, be it basketball, be it squash, be it ping pong, as long as you try your best, you are valued people. And every one of you today, you're valued. Please remember that, because that to me is what's important. I see every one of you every day at the school, in the morning. And I see when you've had a bad day, and I see when you had a good day, and some of you I don't see at all because you missed breakfast, lamb wang. But as we go, I just truly, that's my message. And for the squash group, you know, we had 21, lost a couple along the way. But thank you, because we were there every day for an hour and a half. You came out and you had fun. And at the end, that's what's important. And we have a lot of talent. This year, it was fun because we had grade 7 all the way up to grade 12. So I'm going to go with the awards right away and get this going, because I know there's a lot of people who are going to make great speeches following up. Now, I can't see, so bear with me. So we're going to go Banamess. So those two great ladies, Caitlin and Kira, are going to be together from grade 7 to grade 12, and they're going to be outstanding. Then their development will be great, and they'll be a team all the way throughout, and they'll get Bantam S. For Junior S, I have, oh my God, I am blind. Jasmine, for who came late, but really worked hard, great attitude, always smiling. And a junior S also goes to Roger, who's a bantam age. But Roger keeps on improving, getting better and better, and I'm really, really happy with his attitude. And then for senior S's, Tyler Bada is almost at that level, but he's been very helpful, and I thank him for helping the younger ones. And also Jan Hars, who's very, very athletic and also had a great attitude. The last senior S with the Sportsmanship Award is Mr. Smiley, and I want to say thank you to you because through the winter, you know, it's my job sometimes you get in a bad mood, but Fernando, you were outstanding and I really appreciate it. So please come up and gather your S's.
These for you for right now.
To some of you, it might come as a surprise, but really it shouldn't. And I've been quite hard on this young man because I think that he's, well, he asks a lot of questions. But he is, if you watch him play, he's got great skills. He's got a backhand that even Mr. Van Dyke doesn't understand how he gets the ball. But truly is passionate, he loves it, he's very good at it. And when we played BCS, he beat their best players. He lost once and he came back and said, it's not gonna happen again. And he truly cares about the game. He's outstanding, he's been there all year long. Braden Chastanet, Major S.
Speaking next for the curling team, Mr. Planetta.
Thank you so much, Mr. Spirk. I think Mr. Prevost used to follow me with squash, and I used to appreciate that the microphone would be up. Anyway, it's my own problem. So another curling season has swept its way to a close, and what a year it has been. When I stood here 12 months ago, I never would have thought I'd be back here this year with such an amazing team sitting in front of us to brag about. It's a little different for us curlers. We've literally been on the ice since October, so as we start to thaw and look back over our season, every single one of our 19 curlers should have a smile of pride on their faces right now. And you do. I can see you. That's a record, by the way, 19 curlers. We had first dibs on the 21-passenger bus. Apologies to the swim team. You all came to the ice this season with a fresh outlook and ready to try something new. You immediately became a team that listened to each other, strategized, developed skills, and celebrated our wins and did not let losses get in our way. It's important to remember that we all learned some valuable lessons this year. One of the greatest things about this sport is that there's always room for improvement. We can all work on something, on doing something just a little better, and I saw that in each and every one of you, and when we continue to do that, that's when the results can be amazing. So don't give up, keep watching curling, keep learning the game, keep talking about it, and keep sharing with your friends, because curling isn't just a sport, it's a gift. Curling can go with you far past your years at Stanstead, just like the memories of this season will go with me. To the grads, I hope that you seek out a curling club in your future, and to those of you returning, I look forward to working with you again next season. Thank you all for your efforts this winter. It has truly been a pleasure. Thank you. But what would the night sky be without stars? First up, a young man who is passionate about the game. He was on the team a few years ago and returned for grade 12. I appreciated Buddy's patience and positive attitude this winter. North's #1 all-campus fan sportsmanship award to Buddy Shen. I've said it before and I'll say it again, a lead position in curling is totally underrated. There's not enough respect for leads in curling. Leads have nothing to work with. Unlike other players who can play to a stone or hide behind a stone, they're given a blank sheet of ice and then they're told to put their stones in front of the house, and it sets up the whole end for the rest of the team. Having Kayla magically able to do this time and time again, even on the road, on unfamiliar sheets, was impressive and totally invaluable to the team. A Senior S award to Kayla Lee. Player development is a huge part of building a growing program, and I can't emphasize enough the importance of having returning curlers work with and encourage the new players. It's so valuable. This girl knows the game so well, and get this, Mr. Vanas, skipped the team to an impressive 10-1 win over BCS, with her father in the stands, no less. So glad Anais was back on the team this winter. Senior S award to Anais Gropp. We had every dorm and every grade represented on the team. I think I may have to check the stats on that, Mr. Vanas. Remind me later, please. We had every dorm and every grade represented on the team this winter. So nice to see young people getting into the game. I appreciated this guy's passion for the sport. He would get to the club, change his shoes, and immediately check the lineup for the day. A great two-way curler. Mike plays the full 148 feet. We're lucky to have him on the team this winter. A new recruit, the rookie, Senior S to Mike's son. This next guy is a perfect combination of skill and quiet leadership. He leads by example, making the right call. He reads the ice, when to sweep, a mentor to the young players. Eric has come a long way, and I'm looking forward to working with him again in the future. Senior S award to Eric Zhang. This group of stars represented the Orion's Belt, holding up the trousers of Stanstead College curling program this winter. Please come up and collect your awards. Okay.
This was to Kayla and Mike.
Okay.
And I used to Eric.
Thank you so much. In particular, this winter, someone showed a real flair for not only curling, but sportsmanship, leadership, and a true heart. of what it takes to be an athlete. Patient with the young players, helpful around the rink. He was the assistant coach, the equipment manager, the team leader, all rolled into one. His commitment was unmatched, and his talent on the ice brought him to be one of the top players in the league. The first one on the ice, the last one off it. No one cared more about the well-being of this team. Embodied everything I looked for in a fantastic teammate. I am not sure what I'm going to do next year without him. Please join me in saluting Major S Award winner Thomas LeBlanc.
Our next program to be recognized, girls volleyball, Miss Robitaille.
Hard to go after that. You have to put it down. Okay. So at the beginning of the year, I was pretty confident to have a great season because I had some returning players and I saw some good prospects during the beach volleyball season. For those of you who were here last year, I promised myself there's no way I would keep more than 10 players. So I promised myself I would go with the tryout and just focus on 10 players. So here we go, starting our first tournament of the season with 16 girls sitting on the bench. So I have to say that I could not be more proud of the attitude of my players I've shown during the year. They trust us throughout the season, and they were always willing to try different things to improve our team. Unlike many teams here, our team hasn't had the chance to get a lot of overnight trip to spend time together outside of the school. Despite everything, some weird stuff arrived to us throughout our season. For example, in our first tournament, we lost our first game by forfeit because we arrived 2 hours late. During our second one, we lost all our balls in a public school in South Shore of Montreal, and we came back 4 hours later than expected because we didn't follow the right person. At least, we had some Krispy Kreme donuts, so by the way, I would like to thank Mr. Simard for kindly offering them to us. And on our third tournament, we had to sneak into a residential street with a coach bus while people were judging us big time. Finally, on our last tournament, we had to stop the traffic on the high-speed boulevard, so I had to go myself outside on the street, try to stop people to allow our bus to get out of a end road. So funny, interesting. Anyway, what I'm most proud of is knowing that many of you were able to discover a new sport and had the chance to experience the joy of being part of a team. It is also with great sadness that I must say goodbye to exceptional women who have allowed me to grow as a human being through our many discussions about life. When people say that young generation is not interested in anything, it is clear that they hadn't had the chance to share moments with a team like mine, because I can tell you that these students had great ideas and know where they're going in their life. I would like to end this part of my speech, by first thanking my assistant coach, Miss Ali, who I could count on when I needed someone to take over and who brought expertise to my coaching. I would also like to thank Mr. Spirk for many calls and emails sent, allowed me to have a league and we can have some games. Finally, I would like to thank my players for their passion for the sport and for their positive attitude throughout the year, even though it was sometimes difficult to juggle with two completely different age groups. They have all shown that with teamwork, something surprising can be achieved. I cannot finish this part of my speech by not saying my famous quote of the season, "See you next year."
Now I will announce my recipient for the awards. So based on the team votes, we will be awarding 2 senior S's and a sportsmanship award. This year, I saw this amazing young lady stand out because of her work ethic. Always present at 100% of each practice and games, she has devoted every minute of volleyball to improve her game. She was always there to guide her teammates, to boost their confidence, and to make sure that they could count on her. She was able to increase the intensity in each of her games. Moreover, she was never discouraged by her teammate or never complained even if she had more experience than them. In short, Madik has helped this team to the maximum of her ability and to make sure we could stay competitive and keep a positive energy in every circumstance. I would like to give this senior S to Madik Trottier. So on the second one, for me, best players are not the ones that show up at the beginning of the season with the most talent. In volleyball, Q players are the ones that you can trust when it comes time to dive on for important balls on defense and that are back on their feet to help with the offense. Yana showed that she was devoted to the team and that she will never let the team down. In fact, even with an injured elbow, she was still asking, "Hey coach, can I go in?" If I would have said yes, for sure, she would be the first one on the court. For me, that's a good sign that this girl was craving for the game. With her non-orthodox serve, her funny comments, and her athletic abilities, she managed to bring the team together. So congratulations, Yana. For the Sportsmanship Award, everyone agreed that this person was the best option we could think of, as she showed some great leadership by always being there to help out and cheer for her teammates. I cannot count how many times I've heard her say, "Come on girls, you got this." So I know that these little words have allowed some of them to have boosts of energy they needed to face their fear or just to put a smile on their face. In addition, we choose this person because she showed so much improvement throughout the year. She was staying behind to improve every aspect of her game and to fight to get her place on the starting 6. I could not imagine my season without this person for her contagious laugh and her jokes that make the practice much more fun. And also, of course, to guide us on where the ball would go, because no matter where she was on the court, we all knew that the ball would go straight to Kate Ames. Yep, so you can come up.
So that one's Kate, and she gets to keep the trophy.
Keep?
Till after, for pictures. Okay. She can keep it there. She's going to give it back to me, and those are the, yeah, 2.
Almost there. For this part, we decide to underline the implication of certain players by recognizing the greatest award and being with a major S. I would therefore ask you to join me celebrating the work of these exceptional players after my brief presentation of each of them. So this player joined our team this year with a lot of shyness. She had not necessarily mastered all the aspects of her game yet, but but you can already tell that she had a burning desire to compete and become a better player. Quickly, she stood out from the others by her control of the ball. Whether on defense she could execute precise bump, or on attack where she can lead the court. Leah demonstrated unsuspected leadership qualities. It was sometimes shocking to see how comfortable she was in the game and how dominant she would be by taking smart decisions and with her phenomenal vision of the game. She could easily continue her volleyball career in a competitive program because she can adapt quickly to the player around her, and I could count on her to relaunch the attack, especially knowing that her cosmic twin, Yana, was by her side. This duo was a blast on several occasions. I continue to pray that Leah will join us for another year to develop the other player with her precious help. I am more than happy to give this major distinction to Léa Matouche-Saint-Cyr. Okay, so one more. How to describe Christine other than with the word dedication? I still remember this bright young girl that was in my grade 7 class who already had a contagious energy and above all ideas that she would fiercely defend if needed. In grade 10, when she decided to switch sport and to join her volleyball program, knowing that she would be the youngest player, she did not hesitate to take her place and show her athletic abilities. She realized she could stand out without having to be 6 feet tall. She was solid on defense, helped us with her powerful and consistent serves. This year, as a veteran, she took the role of captain seriously and set out to help young players by guiding them on the court and leading by example with her work ethic and her positive attitude. She was the team representative when she wanted to chat with us, and I knew I could count on her to take the pulse of the team. In short, I'm more than grateful to have been able to count on such a mature and competitive captain. And it's therefore with great pride that I present this honor to Christine Breton.
Next to speak from the swim team, Mr. Belknap-Keet.
All right, I'm like really nervous, so bear with me, all right? Good evening. Okay, to borrow a phrase from Mr. Wolf, this year's swim team was small but mighty. Competing in the ETIAC and RSCQ leagues, every swimmer earned points for the team this season. A particular note is how well the senior girls did this past weekend when they earned silver in the freestyle relay and placed 3rd overall against 12 other schools. So 4 swimmers competing against 112 other swimmers coming in 3rd. So an awesome job. Everyone on the team has earned recognition, and having a small team gives me a chance to tell you just a little bit about their seasons and the things that I believe make them stand out from the rest of their team members. The youngest member of our team, and in fact in the RSCQ league, Juliette began her year unable to swim one length of the pool without having to stop to catch her breath. However, within only a few weeks, Juliette was competing with the senior girls during their relay races and placing. For the final event of the year, she challenged herself to race the 100-meter individual medley. She has so much potential, and I hope that she comes back to the team next year. Zoe was the second rookie on the team. She started her season with, let's say, some room for improvement. Luckily, she's one of the most coachable athletes I've ever worked with. Her times and her distances improved every week, and her enthusiasm never wavered. During the finals this past weekend, she pushed through an injury to complete her races and was part of the senior relay, which took that silver medal. Ren was the only junior swimmer on the team. He was, hands down, the most focused of the bunch. During training, he simply got to work. His efforts throughout the season finally paid off at the regional championships, where he earned a silver medal for the 50-meter backstroke. Ryan, always cheerful, ready to put in some hard work. If ever the school wants to change the shade of red it uses for its logo, Ryan's belly after a few dives may just be the best shade of choice. He had his best race of the year just a few days ago, achieving his goal of a personal best during the finals. Claude, our long-distance swimmer, she took on the huge challenge of racing in the 200-meter IM. Hands down, the most difficult event of all the races. For those of you that don't know, that is 8 full lengths of the pool, doing all 4 strokes, one after the other. She's been a great help to me this season, aiding Juliette's training. A certified lifeguard, she was a much appreciated part of the team, and I hope she continues to compete in the future. Charlotte, our second lifeguard, yeah, so out of 8 people, we had 2 certified lifeguards on the team, went undefeated in the 50-meter butterfly this year and brought home the gold medal this past weekend. Despite my concerns that her shoulder would pop out of joint at any instant, she's done it before, it was great watching her compete. It was good to have you on the team, Charlie, and stop by my class anytime you want to talk about Claudie's boyfriend. Inside joke, sorry. Yeah. Jérôme was the most enthusiastic swimmer on the team. His positive attitude during practice, but even more particular during our races, made it fun for everyone. Jérôme's performance this year was excellent. He earned points during every event, improved consistently throughout the season, and got a personal best during the finals. Jérôme, I hope you keep racing. Rachel was our team captain. She had a major role in the success of this year's team. She worked with her teammates and always offered good ideas to her coaches. At competition, she had few rivals. She earned more first places this year than I care to count. Rachel, your contributions to the team were very much appreciated, and wherever you go next year, I hope you keep competing. At one point this season, Miss Garrett came by to one of our competitions, and she asked me, what's the secret to having such a great and successful team? Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told her. I just show up. With the help of Miss Weir, an enthusiastic co-coach, with the support of Mr. Spirk and Miss Wolf, and of course, with all the hard work done by each and every member of the team, all I had to do was show up. So thank you all for making this the very best season, hands down, that I've ever had as a coach. I'm going to move on to the awards. So Lisa, where are you? Could you, if you just want to come and, no, okay, good. Another inside joke, sorry. Miss Weir, however, I will have you come up and help me hand out the awards, if you would. All right. First off, swimming can be a really intimidating sport. And our first award winner is someone that's a little shy, and I know she's going to hate me for bringing her up here tonight. But the first award that I'm going to be handing out tonight goes to this young athlete who competed for the first time this year. She was always ready to face a challenge and ready to work hard. A Bantam S goes to Juliette Bernardi. All right. Just hold on for a sec, I'll keep going. The next award winners will come up together along with Juliette. So please hold your applause until, you're not going to hold your applause, I don't know why everybody keeps saying it, no one's actually listened to this up until this point. But anyways, hold your applause until they've all been announced. All right, for the most part, swimming is an individual sport and it can be challenging to stay motivated, particularly when getting to practice means traveling 45 minutes both ways. This never seemed to really bother our next award winner. New to the sport this year, she took on every challenge I presented her. Her willingness to learn, her dedication to her team, and the fact that she demonstrated this past weekend her commitment to making sure that her team does the best possible. The sportsmanship, or sportsperson, is that what we're going with? The Sportsperson Award goes to Zoe Patnode. The third award for the night goes to an athlete who had an excellent season. Her race of choice, the 50-meter fly. And fly is exactly what she did. An undefeated season and a personal best during the finals have earned a senior S for Charlotte Collins. Ladies, if you'll please come up and get your awards. Okay. So, Zoe and the trophy. All right. The MVP award for swimming can be awarded to both a male and female athlete, so I will bring them up one at a time. Our next winner has worked very hard this year and earned a Senior S for his efforts along with the boys' MVP trophy for his contribution to the team. Jérôme consistently scored points during races and was a model athlete for everyone that followed him. Please stand and help me congratulate Senior S and boys' MVP award winner, Jérôme Sayard. Our last award winner for tonight has had an outstanding season. To put it simply, she dominated the pool. Her races were mostly won by such a large margin that I almost felt guilty cheering her on. It'd be the equivalent of being up by 80 points in a basketball game and cheering every single point. She was often seen at the finish, at the end of the pool, with other people just arriving 25 meters away. As the team captain and top point earner, she has been invaluable to the team. It should come as no surprise that a Major S and the girls' MVP trophy go to Rachel Chat.
Next to speak from senior boys white basketball, Monsieur Faucher.
All right. Joke's over. Joke's over. Mr. Marino, sorry, I was going to say a joke about you to start, but your speech was so nice that I erased it, okay? Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to start my speech exactly how I start every practice. Lam? Is Lam Wang here? Chaz, go get Lam and Davis there. Chaz, is he here? Lam, are you here? Oh, my God. Beautiful. I want to start by saying that after coaching against Stanstead College for many years over the past 2 decades, it was an honor and a privilege to become a Spartan this year. Thank you very much, Ms. Carruthers, wherever you are. Thank you. This was my 29th season coaching basketball, and I thought I knew it all. But I learned a few things this year, and here are 2 of the things I learned. On the bus headed to our first away game of the year, I looked back and I saw that every single player on the team was sound asleep. I didn't know what to do. Back in the day when I played at Bishop's, if I even yawned before a game, I would get benched. My whole team was asleep. So what happened? We won by 19. Lesson learned, let players sleep before games. So then a couple of games later, we're in a tournament and Lam is sound asleep on the bus before the game. I could barely wake him up. I didn't get mad at him. I didn't bench him. I let him play. And what happened? He was our top scorer and was named MVP of the game. Sleep. Here's another lesson I learned. My whole coaching life, I was told to eat well to improve performance. So 3 hours before the game at La Poudrière, we had an awesome spaghetti and meatball supper. What happened? We lost by 1. Fast forward 2 weeks and we're playing in Victoriaville, the home of the poutine. They say that poutine was invented in Victoriaville. So obviously, we had pre-game poutines. What happened? We won by 34. Lesson learned, you want to win, eat poutine. Here are a few highlights of the season. Our trip to RNS with the girls team was a ton of fun. On the way there, we watched a number of sports movies that were amazing, including the best sports movie of all time. Cameron? Hoosiers, baby! Mr. Van Dyke! Hoosiers! Thank you, Cameron. Another highlight, we were playing in a very tough and close game, and even though Justin was putting up good shots, they just wouldn't go in. Finally one of them did, and my hands automatically just went up like this. And Justin looked over on the court, and he did the same thing to me, and a tradition was started. Every time he scored for the rest of the year, I did this, and he did that, and I loved it. I loved it. Asher's game day issues. They were a highlight for me. Every time we had a game, Asher would come up to me at some point in the day, usually in the cafeteria, and he would tell me about something that just might affect his game that day. It was actually fun. Like, what is Asher going to say today? Here are a few true examples from this year. Sir, I might not play well today. I'm tired. Sir, I might not play well today. I have a headache. Sir, I hit the gym pretty hard today. It might affect my shot. Sir, I had lots of homework last night. Sir, I had 4 tests today. Sir, I ate too much. Sir, I'm starving. I didn't eat supper. Sir, one of my shoelaces is broken. Sir, I'm having a bit of neck pain. Sir, I'm having groin issues. Sir, I got a bleeding nose. Sir, my right butt cheek is sore. Sir, I don't like road trips. Asher's a funny dude. Here's my favorite Asher comment of the year. Sir, I'd rather not shake hands with people after the game. They're all germy. I was going to use my laughter sign just in case you didn't laugh, but you did laugh, so thank you. It wouldn't be a highlight reel without a couple of stories about my good friend Boris. Have you guys met Boris? Yeah. Boris. Dude. Oh my God. So we're in a game, and Boris is just doing his own thing. So I sub him off, and as he's walking to the bench, I stop him, and I say, Boris, just run the play. Why can't you just run the play? And he looks at me and he says, and I'm allowed to use his voice of, good, Boris, good? Thank you. So he looks at me and he says, sorry, sir, I'm too hyper. I can't concentrate. I think I have HDMI. That's a true story. You can't make this stuff up. So the very next game, I pull him off the floor again, and this time I say, Boris, why didn't you run back on defense? We're winning by 30, and you're full court pressing still. I was yelling, get back, get back. Why didn't you get back? And he looks at me right in the eyes, and he says, sorry, sir, I was too focused. Boris, dude, I love you, man. I love you, man. And my last highlight is just 2 words, 2 incredibly important words. Yes, coach. Chaz started a yes, coach culture on the team this year. I heard yes, coach from my players more this year than in all of my other coaching years combined. It's not easy to play for a new coach. It's not easy to learn a new system. It's not easy to play basketball. My boys did that. And all of that and more this season. They worked hard, they learned a lot, they said, yes, coach. Every time I asked them to do something, or I wanted change, or I wanted something improved. They didn't fight me. They just said, yes, coach, and they went out and did it. And you know what happened? We improved. We got better as a team, and we got better fast. We finished the season in second place out of 17 teams with a 10-2 record, and that is absolutely incredible, and I couldn't be more proud of my boys. I'll finish with a few thank yous. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my players. You pushed yourselves, you tried your best, you played as a team, and we all had fun. What more can I ask? I thank you all so much. I love being your coach this year. A special thank you goes out to my grade 12 graduates, Asher, Justin, and David. I wish you all the very best in the years to come. To my assistant coach, Joe Wong. You didn't have to coach a winter sport this year, Joe, but you did. You didn't have to bring me a Monster Energy drink every road trip, but you did. You didn't have to yell, "Go BCS!" No. During a game. I wear a purple shirt and I get yelled at. This guy's cheering for the team. It's unbelievable. Joe Wong, you didn't have to tell Mr. Marino that I missed one practice this year to go to Costco to buy stuff for the girls. Crepes.
It was for crepes.
I almost got fired. You didn't have to tell him, but you did. Joe Wong, all jokes aside, you are an excellent teammate. Thank you for everything. To all the faculty and staff and students who came to watch us play this year, we really appreciated the enthusiasm. Thank you. To the Skittles crew, we thanked you earlier, and I thank you again. To Mao, who filmed a number of games for us this year, thank you, and I owe you. To Mr. Van Dyke for all the basketball chats we had this year, I love those. Thank you. To the one and only Mr. Spirk for all you do, which is a lot. Thank you. To my wife, Monica, for all your support. You are always so supportive, Monica. Well, you were always so supportive, except for that time when we lost 2 games on the Friday of the Anderson-Bailey tournament. I came home and I was so upset. I was depressed. I was sad. I was down. I was angry. You name it. I didn't get much support that night. But anyhow, you are also always, I'm just joking, you're always so supportive. But fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, fun fact, this just came in. 25 years ago tonight, I proposed. She said yes, and my life changed forever. 25 years ago. I always joke to say how lucky she is, but tonight I'll say I'm the lucky one. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to congratulate the senior girls basketball team for all of your successes, and there were so many. What an absolutely incredible season. It was so much fun to watch you guys play. Congratulations, girls. Good luck in the RSEQ final on Saturday. Well done. The awards, I'll name these 4 awards and then you guys can come on up, I think. The Sportsmanship Award goes to someone who's always positive, who never gives up. He's the best teammate, he's a leader by example, and he is just the absolute best dude, Justin Bouchard. Oh, I wasn't supposed to clap. A Senior S goes to Bo Bailey. Anyone who earns the nickname Buckets must be doing something right, actually a lot right. Bo scored a lot of points for us this season and was a player I could always count on in tough situations. Thank you, Bo. A Senior S goes to Summer Wong. Summer started most of the games for us this year. He was a positive force on our team in practice and in games. He was consistent, he was reliable, and he was effective. Congratulations, Summer. And a Senior S goes to Daniel Liu. I applaud Daniel's efforts because I was really tough on him this year. Where is he? There he is. I was really tough on you. And I was tough on you because you're talented and you have the potential to dominate. Daniel played a big role in our successes this year. Come on up, boys, before I cry. Let's go. These guys come up one by one?
One by one.
Okay. Yep. Okay, a major S goes to Shun Hatano. If there was a most improved award, it would go to Shun. Not only did he improve, he became a defensive force. He also became an important leader on our team. And his three-point shot is heating up. This guy is good. Shun, come on up. Congratulations. My final award, a major S, goes to Chaz Grenier. Chaz is a beast. He's a machine. He's incredibly dedicated. He's a true leader by example. He's coachable, athletic, intelligent, and he's tough as nails. If we needed to break a press, Chaz was the key. If we needed to stop our opponent's best player, Chaz got the job done every time. Chaz was the heart and soul of our team this year. Our MVP, Chaz Grenier. Come on up.
Our next program to be recognized, Varsity Boys Hockey, Mr. Thompson.
Slightly curious if Monica said yes or if Mr. Faucher just kept talking. Quick thank you. I'd like to say thank you first to Coach K and Shannon for capturing so much of what you captured this year. I think it's amazing that we get to have all the opportunities we have, and even better that we get to relive them at times, so thank you for that. And next one's Coach Willie and Coach Vanas. In life, try and find your Coach Willie and Coach Vanas. You'll be happy people. So when we finished our season last Sunday in Lake Placid, I didn't really want to force a big-time hockey message to our group just because the season was over. So I went with a simple message, a boarding school message, and a team message about remembering that the time you have spent as a team is a privilege and a life experience that no one will ever be able to take away from you. As importantly, I hope your friendships as a group and the stories from the many hours you spent on the road will always bring smiles to your faces when you meet up in the future. The thrills of wins and the stings of losses will fade, but don't ever forget your teammates and your friends that you met along through this journey. It makes me happy that so many people in here and in this room were able to see us play 2 weeks ago at our CPSHA weekend at the Pat Burns Arena. The atmosphere in the rink and our play on the ice meshed, and for 5 straight games, I thought we played our best hockey of the year. No question we wanted a different result, but as a coach who spends the hours leading up to pretty much every game just hoping that you play at your potential and at your best, I was really happy with what the weekend brought. We played skilled hockey, we played structured hockey, and most importantly, we played team hockey. Despite not winning in the end, we did manage to get to our destination of playing for a championship. And this is still an accomplishment, because at times throughout our season, as we tried to get from point A to point B, our GPS was doing a lot of recalculating. We were never lost, but we were not always on the right path, and not on the right path we should have been at that point of the season. One of my proudest moments as a coach for this year is that I felt that at these times, unlike maybe what many of our fathers would have done driving us to a rink and getting lost in the past, we were not afraid to ask for directions, and we were not afraid to be vulnerable to try and get back on track. And I feel like in the end, when we let ourselves be the most vulnerable, it is also when we were the most successful. Our season may not have ended with a storybook ending, but it had moments of team success, individual struggles, laughter, tears, and many more emotions. We rode a bus a lot. We played 55 games, spent many nights away, and did it as a loving, yet at times slightly dysfunctional family. But like I said at the beginning, it is all of these moments that you will remember, learn from, and forever stick together because of. Often I find that you guys and people around you define your life through your hockey. But I want you to remember the lessons you learn in hockey will help you become the person you want to be in life. Don't define yourself through a game, but instead let a game help you define the person you want to become. We battled this year, we won more than we lost, but we also grew as people, and this is very important. My advice to finish this off remains the same as it has all year. Show up on time, be ready to work, bring a positive attitude, and much like my 6-year-old son, Gabe, just have fun. We'll see if we can get this down. 3 awards. We'll clap at the end for all 3 of them. They'll come up together. First, Sportsmanship Award. This award is going to a true sportsman, but also just a general wonderful human being. Dom played forward, played defense, played on more lines than anyone else on our hockey team, never once had a negative emotion towards anyone else. He was always encouraging, always a true Spartan. Sportsmanship Award, Dom Pecora. Fail. First Senior S goes to Caleb McDonald. Caleb's our captain, solid offensive player. And in the back half of the season, Caleb really found a way to get his offense to go from the outside. And someone told me the expression in hockey where when you can get a goal from the outside the slot and everything like that, it gets a bench that much more excited. It feels like the next one's going to come soon. So with that little extra that Caleb was able to bring, it really helped our team and really helped solidify a little bit more offense. So Senior S, Caleb McDonald. Second Senior S awarded Nick DiPaolo. Speed, edge work, goal scoring ability, all drastically helped us offensively all year. Nick, tremendously fun player to watch, great player to coach, a goal scorer, a speedster, and a Senior S, Nick DiPaolo. Okay, I'm going to give out 3 major S's. So the first major S award goes to a player who plays tough, is very tough on himself, plays with a lot of energy, scored a lot of goals, and in particular scored a lot of tough goals in tight, and has a massive desire to win and to improve. I'd be the first to say needs to do a much better job of channeling his emotions, but there's no questioning his worth within a group or his desire to help the group. He plays offense between the dots, and he finds a way to finish plays. A major S, Spencer Hughes. He loves his sister too. The second major S award goes to a Spartan whose 200-foot game, in my opinion, is pretty elite. A special player on both the offensive and defensive side of the puck. Raf had a wonderful year, a top scorer on our team, an exceptionally reliable defensive player, and a tremendously positive person. Major F, Raphael Tellier. Last but certainly not least, a major S, as well as the Dawes MVP trophy for excellence in sportsmanship in hockey, is awarded to a player who constantly did what you're about to do, which is he's going to bring you to your feet once again. Logan's ability to transport a puck and to shoot the score is unmatched in my time coaching hockey here. Anyone who saw us play had a chance to jump up. At some point watching Logan, I distinctly remember Mr. Chandler on at one point a couple weeks ago, and it was a full-blown, like, going like this. Very good. Logan, absolute tremendous offensive player, and also an exceptional defensive stick. His ability to pull pucks from the opposition to allow him to be offensive is very, very, very unique. And I'm going to quote Jack Tracy, Logan Sawyer was our cheat code. So major S, as well as the MVP trophy, Logan Sawyer.
Next to speak from Varsity Girls Hockey, Mr. Pimm.
I have a few shout outs before we get started, and I get to teach Thomas in my econ class, and I'm just absolutely fired up about your award tonight. You grind in my class, and to see you get that award was truly inspirational. And I also want to give a shout out to Braden, Chastanet, and Squash, and wasn't sure I was going to do this, but as a tribute to Braden, I thought I would tell one of his jokes. It's a sad story, really, about parallel lines. They got so much in common, but they'll never run into each other. So, my last shout out goes to the varsity boys hockey team, and I get to teach quite a few of them in Econ 11 and 12. And I have to tell you, it's been 5 years now, and I often get a lot of the boys varsity team in my class. And this group of individuals in both the grade 11 and 12 class, regardless of what happened on the weekend, brought their lunch pail to class and grinded and always kept a great attitude. And I commented on that numerous times with Mr. Thompson, so I wanted to make sure that they heard that from me in this setting as well. So I'll get started. This is a really, really tough moment for me. I've been with some of these girls 4 and 5 years, and I've lost sleep about the next 5 minutes or so, right really since September, October as we started the season. And before I get started, we're going to give the awards, and then I'll finish with a few highlights from the season. Miss Karina Guerrera is going to hand out the awards. We'll do it together. But before we start, I just want to pay tribute and thanks to Blue Horizon. The Humboldt Broncos incident makes me so grateful and thankful, and in particular our main bus driver, Jean, for getting us home safe and sound each and every weekend. I want to thank our health center team, Christoph, Sonia, Holly, for all their help and support on a weekly basis. I want to thank Karina, our assistant coach, Shannon, our mom and logistics person on the road, for supporting our girls every step of the way. Karina's done a great job with our goalies as well. I want to thank Ollie for supporting our practices and working tirelessly with our D-Corps, an area of our team that we addressed early on and wanted to make our focus from the beginning. Finally, I want to thank Mr. Ruwe, who's really rolled up his sleeves, came on the road with us a couple times to try to understand what we do on a daily basis. I'm so grateful that we have a school, a faculty, committed leadership team, combined with some of the best facilities imaginable to attract so many great players like we had this year on this year's team. I'm going to hand things over to our assistant coach, Karina Guerrera, who's going to introduce our award winners. This was a difficult process for us this year, but all the teammates would agree, I think, that these players deserve the recognition they get tonight. Karina?
So I will be giving out our awards. We are a selfless group who relies heavily on the sum of our parts to achieve success. Given injury, illness, and absence, we have relied on everyone's contributions to achieve our success this year. That said, a few of our players clearly stick out as leaders amongst this great group. So we will be awarding 2 senior S's and a co-awarded sportsmanship award. Please hold your applause until the end of these awards. Our first senior S award goes to a dominating forward who has led our team in goals with 37 this year and is evolving into one of the most potent power forwards to ever wear a Spartan jersey. This Colgate commit will be with us for 2 more years and is destined to carry the Spartan torch moving forward. This award goes to Maxime Tremblay. Our second senior S goes to a Spartan who had a great season, particularly when you consider some of the challenges she preserved through this year. This Colgate commit has 1 year left as a Spartan and will be leaned on to become our leader on and off the ice next year. She has been able to bring her experience back to us here at Stanstead and help us remain so successful. A 2-time gold winner for Team Canada at the U18 level, our senior S, Alexia Aubin. Our sportsmanship award this year is a shared award. These girls embody the values and traits this award represents. They care deeply about their school, program, and teammates. They connect with all of their teammates, especially our younger players, by demonstrating sincere compassion on a daily basis. They run into the fire of player issues and work hard to find the right support for their teammates at the right time. It's a big reason why our team moves forward so well on a daily basis. I'm so proud of these 2 young ladies as they head off to Cornell in Minnesota to continue on doing great things for their team. The co-awarded sportsmanship award goes to Beatrice Perronois and Emma Kreis. You can come up. We will now be awarding the Major S Awards. This group is larger than normal this year, so please hang tight. Reality is, given how dynamic this long season was, we needed different players to give extraordinary contributions all season long. We will be giving 6 Major S Awards and 1 MVP award. Our first Major S Award goes to one of the best goalies her age in the world. She has backstopped us to levels this program has never seen before. She sometimes makes a save and we question, how does she even do that? And the most humble girl we have ever coached will just say, oh yeah, it was an okay save. She has represented Stanstead in Team Canada and Team Quebec. She is intelligent, caring, and compassionate. We are so fortunate to have had her as our goalie. Our first Major S, Ariane Leblanc. This Spartan is very skilled, extremely intelligent, and so deceptive. She has a unique skill set that separates her from anyone that we have ever coached in the girls' game. She always weighs in heavily in big games and has been super consistent in her offensive production and leadership on and off the ice. St. Cloud State is lucky to be getting the great Alice Soriol next year. Congratulations, Alice. This player has a bright future ahead. She led her team in scoring, she is selfless, and will play with anyone on forward and on defense. She has just been amazing all year long. Thank you for stepping up when we needed you. This Major S award goes to Emma Kreis. This Major S goes to our captain, our leader, and quietly one of the best players her age in Canada. Her ability to dominate a game with her relentless play is like no other. Always on the puck, she has become a tremendous playmaker. She is our best penalty killer, most reliable center, defensively, and on faceoffs. She demonstrates so much grit and toughness in all situations. I really don't know what life will be like without her next year. Thank you for all that you have done. Congratulations to Beatrice Perronroy. Some would say that this player was our MVP in many games. To win at hockey, it's as important to keep pucks out of the net. After our goalies, she is the very best defensive player we have, and it's not even close. She has blocked more shots than any player we have ever coached. She is so hard to play against in her trenches, and with a booming shot, scores key goals every weekend. She has been essential to our success. I'm happy to present a Major S to Elodie Waugh. Last one, I promise. Our MVP and Major S this year goes to a player who her tireless, selfless effort in practice, the gym, and in games has been instrumental this year. She is the most prolific player who will ever don a Spartan jersey. She scored some of the biggest goals of the year and really stepped up on weekends when we were a small crew. She has been here for 4 years, is heading to Cornell University, was ranked as the 3rd best player her age in the world, and when you see some of her highlight goals, you ask yourself, how does she even do that? And it's easy to see why. Her blend of skill, professionalism, intelligence, toughness, and leadership is inspiring. Despite the accolades, she carries herself with so much humility and professionalism. This award goes to no other than Karel Prefontaine.
It's easier for me to get up when it's a major.
I'm going to try to recap the year fairly quickly and just go over a couple little things. The 2022-23 Varsity Spartan girls have accomplished a lot this year. Surveying their achievements with 1 weekend to go, we sit with a record of 41-8 and 2 ties, a few tournament banners, 4 national team players, 5 provincial team players, 12 college commitments, and a great chance to bring home 1 more league championship banner, our 3rd in 4 years. Ariane LeBlanc and Alexia Aubin won gold for Team Canada at this year's U18 World Championships in Sweden. Alexia's 2nd gold in a row, following up a spring championship in Wisconsin with teammate Karel Prefontaine the year before. Ariane, Beatrice, Maxime, Alexia, and Jamie Arsenault got to represent their provinces at this year's Canada Games, and Emma Christ looks to join former teammate Svenja Voigt at this year's Senior Women's World Championships in Brampton in April. I also want to add that our own Lydia Walsh was the youngest player named to Team Great Britain for the Five Nations Cup earlier this year in February. Achievements aside, every year is about memories and what makes it so special. Some of the memories that I'd like to hang on to are the ones that demonstrate our commitment to our core values. It's refreshing to be their coach and to know that they are learning how to be proud but humble, gritty but passionate, selfless but confident. This is a group who lets their actions do their talking, and to me, that's the definition of integrity. A quick story about selflessness, comes to mind. She's likely not going to want to let me tell you this story, but here it goes. On a fairly early arrival home one Sunday night, on another weekend coming back from Boston, our captain Beatrice and head prefect literally flew off the bus, unpacked her hockey bag in the dressing room, and sprinted to LeBaron. As she was running away, I asked her if she was okay. Over her shoulder, she chirped back, "Yep, I have to go serve ice cream. I'm 5 minutes late." We also try to use adverse moments throughout the year to teach toughness and grit. For us, grit just means sticking with it until we earn success. It requires care, commitment, compete, and compassion, some of our core values. There's so many stories on this front, with girls persevering in big tournaments by playing sick or nicked up with injury, right through to Sunday, some of the biggest games of the year. Elodie in Kitchener comes to mind. Again, Elodie in Minnesota, Bea and Alice in Minnesota, Alexia in Kitchener, Maria today with her feet. Over and over, player after player, these girls push through illness and injury to maximize their contributions to their team's success. They are tough. Well, I would love to talk more about the Providence weekend, which was truly legendary. I'm going to pay tribute to the girls' efforts in the Washington Challenge Cup in February. On this occasion, Emma Christ and Lydia Walsh, after playing 4 games in 4 days overseas with 2 days of international travel, touched down in Montreal on a Tuesday night, slept through most of Wednesday, traveled to Washington on Thursday, and proceeded to play their butts off in helping us go 4-0 through the round robin and eventually lose to Shattuck St. Mary's in the A semifinal 3-1. It was a great weekend in which we had just 8 forwards and 4 D. We played 5 tough games over 3 days. We grew a lot that weekend. Finally, I believe that leaders are pioneers. This group of girls pioneered a new standard for varsity girls hockey. My history could be off a little bit. I'm sure Mr. Simard or Mr. Ruwe will remind me, maybe Mrs. Heshing. But as far as I know, they were the first to play a youth sport team, tying Bishops 4-4 in September in front of a ruckus crowd at Pat Burns Arena. They were the first to play an NCAA Division I team at Merrimack College in October, losing 6-3 but registering 25 shots against them. We also got to play perennial Division III powerhouse Norwich, losing the game but outshooting them in the process. For the first time, these Spartans won the Naha Labor Day Classic, beating one of the best teams in Ontario in the Ottawa Lady Sens. They also made it to the final of the prestigious Kitchener Two Nations Cup, losing a great game against another Ontario powerhouse in Burlington. They went 4-1, like I said, at the Challenge Cup, which was the first time we made the A side of the playoffs. But the real highlight of the Washington trip, and closely linked to this concept of being pioneers, was the tour that Mr. Remillard gave us of the Canadian Embassy and the opportunity the girls got to sit in the ambassador's office. The ambassador, the Canadian ambassador to the United States, is a woman by the name of Kirsten Hillman, a pioneer in her own right. She is our first female ambassador to the United States. I don't say this lightly when I say that perhaps our next female ambassador or beyond will come from this special group. In my 5 short years here, I've not had a group like this who all contribute so much to each other's daily success. Given the unique injuries and sickness and absence we've all had due to the provincial and national team competition, we've had desperately needed all hands on deck in order to sustain our standard of play and level of consistent success. I'm so grateful to coach this deeply committed team who are so selfless and so focused. From the depths of my heart, I thank all of you. You have set the new standard for Stanstead College hockey. We are so fortunate to have you and wish you so much success as you graduate and move forward. Thank you. Have a good night.
Our final program of the night, from senior girls basketball, Mr. Van Dyke.
Thank you to Mr. Spirk, of course, for everything, and also for the tournaments that you host. You don't have to host all the tournaments you do. Thank you for that. Thank you to our minor officials, the Skittles crew, who are the best in the league, and finally, thank you to Coach Wolf for coaching with me and taking care of all the things I would never remember to take care of myself. I like to save the best for last, so I'm going to give my awards first and then talk about the team after. I'm going to start with the Senior S and the Sportsmanship Awards, and would ask that the winners wait until I've talked about them all and then come up together. So, a Senior S goes to one of the best shot blockers I have ever seen. Anyone who's seen us play knows exactly who I'm talking about. She can be 12 feet away from you, and you think you're safe, so you shoot your little jump shot, and then she'll come swooping down out of the sky like a pterodactyl with these long athletic arms and stuff your shot right down your throat. Also, one of the best rebounders I've ever coached, Senior S, to Henny Krause. The Sportsmanship Award, it will be shared between two players. The first player is simply the most improved player that I have ever coached. I've been here for 30 years, most improved player I've ever coached. Her athleticism is off the charts, but just as importantly, she approaches every practice and every game with real joy. So always the first of practice to pick up a ball and start shooting around. There's zero drama, zero angst, just a never-ending smile and love for being young and athletic and spending time with her teammates. Sportsmanship Award to Bernie von Kampenhausen. And the second recipient had every reason to give up last November when she popped her shoulder out again. Or at the very least, she could have been mopey and sad all the time, but she chose not to instead. She became even more of a positive force, became the team's top cheerleader from the bench, rehabbed her shoulder, returned to the lineup, and was named MVP at the Bailey Provincial Tournament. Courageous, eager to learn, and always putting her team first. Sportsmanship Award to team captain, Sienna Webster. All three of you, please come on up. The first major S goes to a gym rat who truly loves basketball. Before the season started, there was one place on campus where you knew you'd be able to find her, and that was the gym, working on her game. And that lifelong passion and work ethic is how she became one of the best all-around players in the league. A true baller, she can do it all, and she always sets the example by throwing herself around the court with absolutely no regard for personal safety. Major S, team captain, Sarah Paquette. And the second major S, along with the Bess Ferguson MVP trophy, goes to that rare player who can actually take take over a game. The other coaches in the room, they know what I'm talking about. She is so athletic, so strong, and so talented that she imposes her will on the game and makes the game flow the way she wants the game to flow. On one play, she'll grab a defensive rebound, break 2 sets of ankles, dribbling out of traffic, then fire a no-look Patrick Mahomes bullet to a streaking teammate on a fast break. On the next possession, she'll lock you down on defense, rip the ball out of your hands, go the length of the floor herself, and finish a little Steph Curry floater, or maybe a pull-up 3. Nobody in the league can do all of those things, and no one can make it look easy. Major S, MVP trophy, team captain Melissa Kakayuk. So there's a little knot of players over there, just sitting over there. There's 13 of them in red blazers and a few white sweaters. They played basketball together for 1 season. So 13 players played basketball, not football. They didn't play rugby. They played basketball for 5 months, and this is what happened. So one player suffered a concussion. She was out for 2 weeks. Another player also, a different player, got a concussion, out for 2 weeks as well. Still another player wrecked her ankle warming up for a game, out for 3 weeks. A different player now, we're only 13 players, remember this. A different player got whacked in the face hard enough, she had a black eye for 3 weeks. Another player, we only have 13 players. Another player sprained her ankle, not enough. At the same time, she was diagnosed with a mystery low blood pressure that kept her out of the lineup for 2 weeks. Another player went snowboarding. Suffered a concussion so bad she stayed overnight in a hospital, missed 3 weeks. Remember, we're 13 players playing a basketball for 5 months. One player broke her finger in a way I'd never heard of before. It's called an avulsion fracture. She had not 1, but 2 metal pins inserted in her finger, and she wasn't able to play for 3 entire months. Still, on the same team, a different player hurt her knee skiing, told nobody. We only found out because her parents called the school wondering why she wasn't in a hospital somewhere. Another player dislocated her shoulder for the 17th time in the past 3 years, couldn't play for 2 months. Another player rolled her car, got a concussion, failed the Buffalo test, passed the second Buffalo test, got reconcussed, if that's a word, failed another Buffalo test, and missed the last 3 months of the season. And we're still going. A completely different player wore a black eye for a couple of weeks, and a few weeks later, she joined a concussion club. I'm not sure where we're at now. I don't know if anyone's keeping count. Then a few weeks after that, turned her ankle badly enough to need a walking boot for 2 weeks. And finally, with only 2 weeks left in this season, one more player suffered a concussion. I think that's 6. There are 13 players on the team. I think that's 6 concussions. Top it up, and then she failed the Buffalo test. So why? In fact, if I'm right, I may have missed something. I think there's only one player who was injury and concussion free for the entire season. I think there's one. I think it's Bernie. I think Bernie might be the only one who made it through. Of course it's Bernie. Now why did I go over all of this? I want to make a point. I want to make a point about adversity. And to be honest, lately I've had doubts about people today, about their ability to deal with adversity. Maybe I'm just the old guy on a front porch complaining that things just ain't like they used to be. But I worry that social media and the COVID shutdown, the life of luxury that most of us live in, has made it tougher for us to push through tough times. But seeing what this team accomplished this season, through all the injuries, maybe I'm wrong about that. Because when push came to shove, when the chips were down, when it was time to stand tall or just crumble, you always found a way. Shorthanded at the McLeod, you found a way. Shorthanded again and facing hostile crowds at not 1 but 2 senior nights to win the RSEQ League for the first time ever, you found a way. Despite the longest never-ending basketball season in Stanstead College history, despite sometimes wishing the season had just ended 2 weeks ago, you keep finding your way. We're far from the perfect team. We've got our issues. Coach Tougas talked about conflict. We had our share. Coach Thompson mentioned the word dysfunctional. Well, you guys put the fun in dysfunctional, I would say. With the rowboat, the bus ride karaoke, widdy-willy-gwiddying right now, when it really mattered on the court, you stepped up for your injured teammates and you were there for each other. One final thought. I want each of you to think about this. If you didn't have to overcome adversity to get here, the blood, the sweat, the tears, if you just won every game easily by 50 points without struggle, would all of these banners you signed and all the trophies mean as much to you? I don't think so. And I know for sure that they wouldn't mean as much to me. Nothing worthwhile ever comes easy. Thank you for the season.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Van Dyke. That concludes our Winter Athletic Assembly. Thank you all very much for your attention and comportment. I know it was a long night. Sincerely, thank you. Would all award winners please stay behind for photos? That's Bantam S, Junior S, Senior S, Sportsmanship, Major S winners, and MVP trophies. A reminder that you're now to head to your houses for quiet house and packing. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone, and have a wonderful break. See you later.